The grand ballroom of the Fairmont Grand Hotel shimmered with elegance. Crystal chandeliers cast soft light over rows of impeccably dressed attendees, their laughter and murmured conversations blending seamlessly with the gentle strains of a string quartet. This was no ordinary gathering. It was the annual charity gala hosted by a foundation dedicated to helping underprivileged youth. Among the glittering crowd sat Barron Trump, now 18 years old, seated quietly near the back of the room. Unlike many in attendance who thrived in the spotlight, Barron seemed content to observe. His tall frame and stoic demeanor made him stand out, though not intentionally. He had been invited by a family friend, a gesture meant to introduce him to a new circle. As waitstaff glided through the room serving champagne and hors d'oeuvres, the energy buzzed with anticipation for the evening's keynote speaker, a celebrated liberal journalist known for their sharp wit and unapologetic opinions. The journalist stepped up to the podium, exuding charisma in a sleek black suit. They began with light-hearted jokes about traffic and past galas, drawing polite laughter from the crowd. But soon their tone grew sharper. "Well," the journalist quipped, "we can't talk about the state of the world without mentioning the man who made orange the new black." Scattered chuckles rippled through the audience, but some shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Then came the punchline, and let's not forget his most overlooked legacy, the next generation. Imagine growing up surrounded by marble everything, and your dad tweeting about Kofi while the rest of us are just trying to survive Monday mornings. That must have been character building. A collective gasp rippled through the room. Heads turned toward Barron, who sat motionless, his face unreadable. The attempt at humor fell flat, leaving an awkward silence. All eyes were now on Barron, waiting for his reaction. Instead of crumbling under the weight of the moment, Barron remained calm. Slowly, deliberately, he stood, pushing back his chair. Every eye followed him as he walked toward the stage. The journalist froze, their earlier bravado faltering. "Thank you for your insight," Barron began, his voice steady and firm. "I've grown up watching people make assumptions about me, my family, and my life. It's almost become a game to some. A way to fill in the gaps when you don't know the full story. And I get it. We're public figures. It comes with the territory." He paused, locking eyes with the journalist. "But there's something important that often gets overlooked. Behind every headline, behind every punchline, there's a human being, someone with their own struggles, dreams, and story. You may think you know me because of who my father is, but you don't. Not really." The room was silent, captivated by the clarity and maturity in his voice. Barron continued, "What I've learned is that respect doesn't have to be earned. It should be given freely, especially when you don't know someone's story." As Barron returned to his seat, the room erupted into applause. The journalists stood frozen, their earlier confidence completely dissolved. Within hours, footage of Barron's speech went viral, sparking debates about civility, respect, and the impact of our words. Parents used the moment as a teaching tool. Teachers praised his poise, and millions found inspiration in his ability to rise above ridicule with dignity. For Barron, however, the frenzy of attention seemed irrelevant. He returned to his daily life with the same quiet composure, choosing to focus on his studies and personal interests. Yet the lessons from that night lingered, reminding everyone that even in the face of provocation, respect and empathy remain transformative forces. While the audience was captivated by Barron's response, the journalist experienced a whirlwind of emotions backstage after the event. Known for their biting commentary, they had never faced such a composed rebuttal. As they packed up their notes, they couldn't shake the feeling that they had crossed a line. That night, unable to sleep. The journalist replayed Barron's words in their mind. Respect doesn't have to be earned. It should be given freely. For the first time, they questioned the ethics of using humor to mock public figures, especially young ones. The next morning, they issued a public apology, acknowledging that their remarks had been inappropriate. Some accepted the apology, while others criticized them for failing to recognize the humanity of their targets sooner. Among the attendees was Sarah, a high school teacher from Chicago who had brought her teenage daughter to the gala. Both were deeply moved by Barron's speech. On the drive home, Sarah turned to her daughter and said, "Did you see how he handled that? No anger, no defensiveness, just pure grace. That's what real strength looks like." Inspired, Sarah decided to incorporate Barron's response into her lesson plans. She showed clips of the speech to her students, sparking discussions about empathy, respect, and the power of words. Her classroom became a microcosm of the larger societal reflection inspired by Barron's actions. Back at home, Barron reflected on the incident privately. Though he appeared unfazed in public, the experience weighed on him. He thought about the countless times he had been reduced to a punchline or dismissed because of his last name. But instead of bitterness, he felt a renewed determination to define himself on his terms. In a rare interview months later, Barron opened up about the night. "It wasn't about proving anyone wrong," he said. "It was about showing that we all have a choice in how we respond to negativity. You can either add fuel to the fire or try to extinguish it. I chose the latter." His words resonated globally, inspiring countless individuals to adopt a similar mindset in their own lives. The ripple effects of Barron's response extended far beyond the gala. Social media campaigns emerged, encouraging people to practice kindness and empathy. In their interactions, hashtags like #Choose Respect and Quokka Words Matter trended worldwide, with users sharing stories of how small acts of decency had transformed their lives. Even political commentators, typically divided along partisan lines, found common ground in praising Barron's maturity. Pundits on both sides of the aisle agreed that his response transcended politics, offering a universal lesson in humanity. Months later, Barron received an invitation to speak at a global youth leadership summit. Though initially hesitant, he accepted, seeing it as an opportunity to amplify the message he had delivered at the gala. Standing before thousands of young leaders, he shared his philosophy. Every day we're faced with choices: how to treat others, how to react to adversity, how to define ourselves. These choices shape not only our character but also the world around us. Let's choose kindness. Let's choose understanding. Because in doing so, we create a better future for everyone. As he left the stage to a standing ovation, Barron realized that his journey was just beginning. What had started as a single moment of courage had evolved into a lifelong mission to inspire change. One word, one action, one person at a time.